Over the river and through the woods to save Omega we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 14, Flash Strike. And I just realized I don't have my notebook right here, so Andrew...
You'll be back in a flash?
I'll be back in a Flash Strike, so tell a dad joke or something and I'll hear it in post.
Dad joke. All right, well, I'll be talking to the chat for you listeners, but why does a duck have tail feathers? To cover its butt quack. That's my dad joke. There
You already told that joke.
Oh, dang it.
All right, we're back.
Oh, look, even the chat knew it. That's a problem.
You said that on...
Live?
It was Grace's Imperial interview, I believe it was.
What's another one? Yeah, I don't really... I just know my two jokes. I go to that one and then my Luke one.
Yep.
Those are my two solid. Boo. Okay, chat, chill out.
But we're not here for dad jokes. We are here for Bad Batch.
Yes.
And so before we jump into our breakdown, we have a Spotify Q&A from last week. And that question was, will Rex come to Tantus to help the Bad Batch? Well, it didn't happen tonight or today, but there's still one more episode left. So let's go over these answers. Aaliyah says, that would be awesome. That doesn't answer our question, Elias. Come on.
Well, yeah, it would be awesome. Duh.
Addie says, yes, and no. He is very busy. He's a very busy man after all, and he didn't even give Echo leave when they lost Omega the first time to Hemlock, Who knows, comma, maybe.
Oh.
So, yes, no, maybe. Jacob with a K says yes, and he will uncover the secrets of the Empire and expose the Empire to the public. That would be cool, but spoiler,
that's a lot to tell, and
they are unfazed by it if he does.
Yeah. Spoiler, it doesn't matter.
Noah says, hear me out. Rex will show up with his crew on Tantus. It'll be OG clones versus new clones.
Ooh, I like that. That.
That's cool. Marina K, shout out to Marina K. Go check out her podcast, the Entry Number podcast. Go check it out. She just started it. She says he's the man for the job. If he survived following Anakin into battle, raising Ahsoka, and Order 66, then Tantus should be a walk in the park for real.
That's true.
Yep. Eason says, I hope so. It'll be cool. I don't know what else to say. Perfect. Nate Keeney says, I think it'll be a Rogue One situation with Rex getting to Tantus later and all the Bad Batch will die and they'll find out that it's all in the vault and it's just, they'll find out that all that's in the vault is just Wesley Andrews coffee.
Hey,
and then he says, let's go Stars. Is that hockey playoffs?
Oh, probably. I'm not paying attention because the Wild didn't even make it at all.
Is that the North Stars? Dallas North Stars?
Well, they're Dallas Stars, but they're just called the Stars now.
Did they change their name?
No, when we sold...
I know they were here, the North Stars, but they...
When we sold them to them, they became the Dallas Stars. They've never been the North Stars.
Well...
Yes, it is Dallas.
I guess...
Are they doing good? I I'm literally not. I'm so into basketball right now because the Wolves are kicking everyone's butt, and
Are they going all the way or
dude,
no?
I think this is our year, bro.
This is our year.
We won both our games in the current playoffs right now,
How many?
and
Best of
we
how
have to
many for first round?
best of 7, so we have to win 2 more games.
Is it every round 7
Every
games?
dude, we're not gonna be done with NBA playoffs until, like, June.
Bro, that's a
It's
lot
the
of
same with
games.
hockey, it takes forever. The same with hockey too, best of 7.
Dang, every round is. I thought like
Every
first round was
round.
like best of 5 or something like that.
No, so there's 2 more rounds that we have to face the West, and then we can face the final. So,
That's a
yeah,
lot of.
but the Wolves have won both our games by, like, a lot compared to everyone else, like, we're blowing this team out, so I think this is our year. We have Ant is, like, the new Michael Jordan, so our team is really good right now.
Well, go Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a basketball game since
KG.
Michael Jordan was with the Bulls.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know. I've never really watched basketball,
Go
but
Cavs. Okay.
this is not a sports podcast.
No, if
But
you wanna follow my no, I don't have one.
but
Never.
if you want to find out some non-Star Wars content that we also do, go check out our Rebel Moon Part 2 movie review, YouTube exclusive. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, audio only, you got to go all the way over to YouTube and check that out.
That
And
far away website.
yep, it's only a click away. But Drew said in that episode that if that video gets 1,000 views, he'll watch the Snyder Cut version of the second movie when it comes out in like August or whatever it is. And so he's not excited to watch the Snyder Cut at all. But if we get 1,000 views on that review video, then he'll go
It
watch
had
it.
even 1,000 likes, just 1,000 views.
Yep, and we're already way more than the first movie. We're at like 101 as of starting this
Yeah.
episode, recording this episode. So
So get us there if you want me to sit through 3 hours of a
it'd be
movie I don't
kind
wanna
of
watch.
it'd be
That'd
kind
be
of lame if
It's like 99.
our most viewed podcast episode is a non-Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
That could be kind of terrible, but we could use the views and the subscribers. So just
True.
go over there and subscribe. Like we see how many of you guys listen on the audio only version and how many we have.
True.
Like,
Like, chat, are you everyone in subscribed that's in the current chat?
yeah, come on,
Put
chat.
give us a thumbs up if you are.
All right, whatever, Uncle Owen. But we are here for Bad Batch.
Yes.
Next week is the series finale. So
It better be long, bro. It better be.
well,
If
we'll
it's a
talk about it because not a
yeah,
lot. Okay, I'm gonna start out with. I always usually ask you, but I'm gonna
ooh.
start it out.
Alright, go ahead.
So, like as an episode, standalone by itself, I thought it was really good in many ways. Like all these episodes this season, but as the second to last episode, not just to a season, but to a series finale,
Mhm.
it was a little lackluster
Underwhelming?
for me. Underwhelming. Um, like we've seen the episodes this season where they're normal like 23 to 27 minutes long, and it seems like it's an hour long because they put so much stuff in the episode and there's so much plot development, character development, and it's just a short amount of time that's like feels amazing. But this one, it just didn't have a lot to it. Like I said, it was still really good. Like when the turbo lasers were going off and it was shaking the facility, and Omega's like, "My brothers are here."
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it was so
Dude,
cool.
it was so dope.
It was so good. And then there was
Her
just some.
character has changed so much since she's been in that cage. Like, it's so weird.
But like even this through the whole series, like I want to go back and watch the first episode again
Yeah,
and to
dude.
see her like how different she is. But yeah, so but like there's so many things coming together though. Still, like I really liked like the Bad Batch is finally there on Tantus. Rampart is a loose end. Like what is he gonna do? Like there could be many different paths that he could follow. All the characters, like all the Bad Batch characters, like we were all thinking they're all gonna die, but We still don't know. We got Omega stuff going on. We have Emery. We have, spoiler alert, Zillow Beast is back, and I
Mhm.
think our Q&A is going to be how many people is Zillow Beast going to eat next week? Because
Yep.
that boy has been in that tank of water for who knows how long and is hungry for some. That other doctor, she's going to get eaten probably. But I don't know. Drew, what did you think of this episode?
I love this episode. I thought it was really good. I liked it. I mean, you're right though. It did feel a little lackluster compared to like what we thought we were gonna get, obviously. But like to that point though, it was also really, really good. The Zilby stuff, like how Omega found them, and was like, I know what we're gonna do. Like, I got a plan. That girl's gonna let that thing loose and go ham on everyone. It's gonna be dope. And also with that too, like when she's like, "Oh, those are the cannons," like, she knew,
Yeah.
like, right away, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah, my brothers are here," and, like but she's, like, talking like such like a boss now, like, it's not like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh," it's like, "This is what we're doing. This is what's happening. I know how to get out of here now. It's so cool," and, like, even, like, the part when she was, like, in the tunnel section, I'm like, "Dude, she almost
bro,
lost her head, like, twice,
bro,
bro."
I thought she was going to lose her fingers every single time she was holding on that rail.
Even her fingers, her head. At one point, she was
Well,
like, and it just,
the
like, shot up
well
past her face.
the first one when it went by, like I yelled out like a family friendly word, but like I was like, "Oh," like I was like that shocked me, and like, man, like this is going to be rough, but um you see Will's
Yeah, this text.
if you're not if you're not watching us on YouTube, Drew changed his facial hair right now, and he has.
Don't tell them. They have to go tune into YouTube to find out.
Well, I'll read Will's comment. I turned back to the stream and Drew looks like a Southern uncle. I don't know what that means, but if you want to know what Drew looks like and you've never seen him, he's in peak form tonight because he says his wife is probably gonna make him shave what he
It's gonna look
has done.
different tomorrow, so
Yeah.
go
So
on
go follow us
YouTube.
on YouTube if you.
And you know what? Comment if you like it, so I can show my wife, so then she can just let me
Yeah,
rock
so
it.
you gotta hold on to it for like a few more days just so you can see the comments.
Mhm.
Be like, babe, just let me wait till Sunday. If I get so many amount of comments saying love the mustache, love the facial hair. Like if we can get what 10 people, how many people do you think we need
I
to
need
say
100 for
100?
her.
If
For
100 of
her.
you can comment on the YouTube video for this episode that you love Drew's facial hair, it'll be enough to convince Stephanie. Probably not,
Like,
but
dude, the people
enough.
are speaking right now.
Do
They have
do
spoken.
do it for Divine, right?
Yeah.
But yes. Any other comments, Drew?
I don't know. I just really loved it, and, like, it was pretty suspenseful too, like, I really liked the how much everyone like, when they landed and how they got off of it, like, the whole time was just really, really good. It was a fun episode.
See Will's comment. We used to have Drew's microphone, and now we need Drew's mustache to send in voicemails. Whatever happened to Drew's microphone?
He unsubscribed or something,
What is
I don't
it?
know.
It was Drew's microphone. Wasn't there another one?
Drew's keyboard,
Drew's keyboard. Yeah. Okay.
and then I think wasn't your mouse one too?
Maybe Drew's or Jeremiah's mouse. Yeah.
I think
But
that was one.
Drew's mustache. We hope to hear from you next week.
Hey, you just told everyone. Anyways, go to YouTube and comment if you like it, so I can. But yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, I just thought it was good. I thought it was a fun, really good episode. But yeah, I just wanted a little bit more, and it did. It actually felt like a short episode. When
Yes.
like we said, like last week was like 23 minutes, and it didn't feel like 23 minutes. This one was like what 21 or
It
something,
was 24, rounding up to
24, and
24.
it felt like 20 24. Like, it was just like, "Oh, okay." Like, or it's happening. But, like, it was really suspenseful and really good. But, like, how are they that's what I was saying, like, in the beginning of the show, like, how are we going to next week cannot be another 25-minute episode. Like, that'd be so
Right.
lame. Like, let's go out the same way we came into this with
Yep. An hour,
70-minute.
a 75-minute episode. That would
Like,
be.
let's go hard. Come on, give it to us. We need it.
And you're
But
doing watch party next week for sure, regardless. Or
depends on how long it is.
okay.
It depends on how long. When I tune in the morning and if it's 20 minutes, then probably. But if it's an hour, let's go for it.
I don't know. I
And it's
think
the
people
week
want.
of Star Wars week, like
That is
leading up
true.
to Star Wars Celebration week,
That is
as
true.
in Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day. Yep. All right. Well, let's just jump into scene by scene. So starts out classic Star Wars. We're in hyperspace. We got the ship going through with the team underneath, and I didn't realize that their ship was so small compared to that Imperial ship. I thought it was a little bit bigger, but this thing was really small compared to the.
Really small.
So they're just going through, and they're just kind of getting ready. Hunter's like, we're going to be exiting hyperspace soon. Which, how does he know that? Like, I don't know how he knows that, unless Echo is able to send him messages or something. I don't know. But basically, Rampart's like, once we get, to the planet, they're gonna realize you're there, and they're just gonna shoot you down. And they're like, fine, we'll try and land, or we'll get shot down, but then we'll just trek through the woods or the forest, the jungle, or whatever. And Crosshair is like, well, it's a very dangerous jungle. It's going to be hard to get through, basically. But they're like, well, it's the only option we got. And so it goes like that. And then it flashes to Echo. He's, still on the other ship, obviously. And he's trying to get data and stuff with his little screwdriver arm in the console. And then the droid, what are those AP droids?
Mhm.
Are those what those are called?
I think so.
Um, Liz
Sounds
is in
right.
there, and it was coming around, so he had to quick leave or whatever. Um, so that's how it opens up, and then immediately after that, it goes to Tantus, and Dr. Hemlock goes into like head of security, Scorch or whatever is there, and like the science vessel is on the way, but there seems to be a security breach, which they kind of skipped how they know that it was the Bad Batch, even though like security feeds and like the guy that they stunned in the control room, like they probably just got the information, but like
Didn't they say it was like Clone Force 99?
yeah, like they specifically said who it was, so it's like they didn't explain in this episode how they know that.
Yeah. I thought they did, but maybe they didn't
No, they didn't. So I think it was just assumed that
because it
security
was
feed
Omega.
and testimony from the guy that they stunned in the control room that they just know. But like it would be nice if they just said security
This
feed.
trooper.
Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't just add 10
Well,
seconds
it
of
makes sense too if they're afraid of a breach that it would be them because Omega's there.
that too. But Hemlock is like, all right, well, send out the fighters, intercept, and shoot him down like right away. Don't even give him a chance to do anything. We gotta get him down right away. So that's what they do. So right away they get into the atmosphere and they detach, and right away they're like on the scanners, like we got fighters incoming, and Crosshair's like that's not standard formation. Like they're doing patrol, it's like they're in attack formation. We gotta go
They know
basically.
we're here.
Yep. And so they're being chased around, and then the laser cannons go off. They're shooting them, trying to shoot them down too. And this is an amazing scene when Omega's in the vault with the kids playing their little puzzle game things, and you can hear the vibrations, hear the rumbles, hear the booms. Their puzzles are falling down because of the vibrations, and they're like,
What's going on?
they found me. My brothers found me. They're here, and so that was probably my favorite episode or favorite scene from this episode, just because it was this. We've never like, have we seen that in Star Wars where like they like hear
The
commotion in the
guns
distance
go
like that?
off,
Guns go off, commotion go off, and then like
shaking the building.
yeah, I don't know if we've ever really
No, I don't
seen
think so.
anything like that, but it was just a cool scene and how like Omega just knew that was them
Yep.
because
Yep.
she knew that it's impossible to find the planet basically. So if someone had found it, the only reason they would go there would be for her. So they would have to be her brothers. So I really like that. And so during all of this, the whole facility is getting put down, locked down. Security things are going off. Troopers are being deployed everywhere. Blah blah blah. And so, Emery, she's like, all right, I'm gonna take care of like the security for this vault or whatever. Blah blah blah. And then she leaves and everybody leaves, but she puts the other doctor in charge of the children. But then like she's like, your worry for them is unwarranted. Like why don't you trust me basically?
Mm-hmm.
And Emery's like, I know why I shouldn't trust you because Omega's down there and she knows what Omega's capable of. So there's just that little like tension between the two doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And so goes back to the batch and they're just trying to escape from the fighters, but they're just shooting them down, shooting them, hitting them. And I thought, okay, so what they end up doing is they turn the power off, they drift and turn the ship while they're falling, and then they shoot one or two of the fighters down. What I thought they were going to do was do Fee's trick to like turn off the power, and then you're not
Fall
on
the
falling, you're
radar anymore.
not on the radar anymore. I guess it doesn't work when they're.
Probably doesn't work if they're already on you.
But I was like, because they put all those big clouds, like it was very thick clouds. So I thought this is what
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna go missing in the clouds, free fall, and then we're gonna be able to land in the woods somewhere and get by them sometime. But
I don't think they're as good as flyers as she was or she is.
yeah, but I thought they would at least try. But they realized that
And weren't
they're
they
not.
already smoking at that point too, though?
Yeah, they've been hit multiple times, so that's
So
why
that's
they.
probably why they couldn't really free fall. Just trail of giant black smoke.
Oh, that too, yeah.
I guess it's not gonna work.
But then, so then they're like, well, there's no way we're gonna land safely, so we're just gonna rappel down. And Hunter puts the ship on autopilot, which is like, how is that gonna help? Because like they're already getting shot at, so I was like surprised that they're not getting shot at well on autopilot, but whatever.
But they were pretty low to the trees, so.
Yeah, and so now
And these,
remember,
I don't think they're clone pilots either.
I don't know, did they show
They
the
had the new
helmets?
helmets on, yeah.
They had new helmets, so no. So
So
there's
I
that too.
mean, they're not good at flying, so or
Nope.
shooting.
And so we gotta remember that Rampart is with them still, and they have to rappel down this thing.
I was
Like,
really hoping he was gonna hit a tree, dude.
bro, come on. There's
Like,
still hope for
imagine
Rampart,
that. There's
but there's still time for him to change. We'll talk about that. But he has to rappel down without any rappel experience, no armor, doesn't know what he's doing. So Crosshair and Record, they drop down first. They rappel down as remember the ship's going like 500 miles an hour, so I don't know how anyone could survive rappelling down and stuff. But they fall down, drop down, let go, they're fine, and then Hunter and Rampart are there, and they both go, and Rampart's rappel line jams, so he's not falling down as long as he's supposed to. So Hunter just starts shooting the cable system, and it releases, and then the Rampart, he's not strong enough, and so he loses grip from the rappel line, and we think he's gonna die, but then Hunter saves him, and he screamed very high pitched when he was falling before he got caught, which was kind of funny. Did you laugh out loud with that scream?
No,
No,
I was
you,
afraid that Hunter maybe like, what if that's how they went out, is both of them got
they're not
hurt?
gonna go
But the
out
whole
that way.
time I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Hunter's gonna die. Hunter's gonna die. Rampart, maybe he'll die. Cross my fingers." But then they survived.
Well, I thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, it was probably supposed to be funny, but in the moment I was too focused on if he was gonna get hurt. Imagine that's how Hunter died.
Everybody would,
To a tree.
everyone would rage quit the Bad Batch and
Yeah.
wouldn't watch the finale. Um, so at this point, we don't know Rampart and Hunter's fate after they repelled down,
Mhm.
because then it goes back to the vessel that Echo is on, and so Dr. Hemlock's like, all right, well, we're gonna put the ship on lockdown. We're gonna do an inspection. We're gonna check out, do a background check on all the people on there to make sure everything's good to go, or see who's faking it, whatever, blah blah blah. And so they land, and like the captain or lieutenant or whoever's in charge, like, out of my way. This is special cargo to be delivered, blah blah blah. And like, well, we've been have orders to check the
Yeah, that
ship
guy
and
was
check
not
everyone's
nice.
identity.
That guy was
And he's like,
intense.
we already went through the security before we
This has to
left,
go
blah blah blah.
quick.
But they're like, too bad. We have orders from Dr. Hemlock. You gotta stay put. So while this is happening, uh, Echo takes the armor from the trooper that he stunned last episode. So I don't know how long this guy's been out, but he's been.
He's running around naked right now, that's for sure.
But like, that's the one thing we don't know about in Star Wars is like how long it
How
takes to
long?
get to places in hyperspace. So like
Well, or how long you get knocked out for.
that too. So it's like,
Like this is on stun for 24 hours, or is this on
but because like
stun for 10 minutes?
last week we were talking about how like, oh, the guy got stunned, but he's not going to return back to the lieutenant or whatever right away. So they're like, well, where's so and so? So go check on him. And we thought that was going to happen, but that never happened. They're just like,
Mhm.
oh, I guess he's good to go or something. But he takes his armor and puts it on, and he just has
It'd been
his
funny if
screwdriver.
that guy woke up from a stun and is, like, naked, and then he grabs Echo's armor and tries to put it on and then gets killed.
Oh gosh, that one kind of funny. That
Like,
would been
"Guys,
rough.
guys, it's me, I swear," and then
But yeah, so he puts on the armor and he just has a screwdriver sticking out, and he kind of looks a little funny. So he goes back to the computer console to get information or whatever. Like, we don't get any details about what exactly
he's doing.
is
He's
trying to
trying to
find.
find Omega.
Like, you get that when he hacks into the system once he's in the facility, but when he's on the ship, like, what else is he trying to get? Trying to get the coordinates to the
Maybe
planet? I don't
he's
know.
sending yeah, maybe he was sending them to Rex.
Maybe because
That makes sense.
there was a scene. I can't remember which, because it was before they landed. It might have been like when the ship was still attached in hyperspace. Like, I felt like it panned or something, and it showed like the dish, like on the undercarriage or something.
Mm,
Like, it didn't show in the episode that like he transmitted thing, but they kind of like made the camera show that dish was
Yeah,
there.
I think he was sending out coordinates, like, especially that last time when he was on the ship and they already landed. I think he was sending out the coordinates to Rex, and I think we're not supposed to realize that until last minute in the next episode when everyone's down for the count and people potentially have already died or something, and we're like, "How are they gonna get out of this?" And then sure enough, Rex and his crew are gonna show up with Asajj Ventress, and Asajj Ventress is gonna go ham on everyone, and then she's gonna have a
Uh,
She's gonna fight Palpatine, and then she'll end up dying again, and then do you imagine that? Just imagine.
I don't think
Palpatine shows up.
well if,
Because who is coming? Someone's coming
huh?
because the guy was talking to the clone doctor and said, and she's like, "Is our cargo here yet?" Or like isn't someone inbound? Like another patient inbound?
I don't think so. I think it was just referring to the cargo that was being delivered.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah,
So imagine if they find someone else and then
I don't know.
like imagine they capture, instead of a kid, they capture a Asajj Ventress.
I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think we're going to see Ventress in this
I don't think so either. But
in the finale. But
I don't think so either. I'm just kind of
if
throwing out
Palpatine,
ideas.
I wouldn't doubt if we see a Palpatine clone, like
Ooh,
or like a Snoke variant
a
or
Snoke
something.
variant.
That that's
Well, because I was talking to one of our newer listeners. He like started following us on Instagram and stuff, but it's one of my wife's coworkers, and we were talking about. He was asking me a bunch of questions about the Bad Batch, and he was listening to our episodes because Steph recommended him. He's like, Luke, you're listening. I know that. Shout out to you. And his name is Luke. I mean, kind of on brand for sure.
but what's his last name?
Uh, I don't know.
It's not
I don't know.
Skywalker, is it?
Sunwalker, Spacewalker. That'd be cool. But anyway, so like he was talking, like we're talking about it, and I'm like, how is Palpatine going to keep funds to this if they shut this down right here?
Well, he's in charge. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but because like um, what's his name is already pushing back against it because he doesn't know what's going on.
Well,
Tarkin's already pushing back, so like when this fails potentially in the next episode, like what's the goal with
well,
that?
I think the season could end with Palpatine doing an extra name drop.
Oh,
And it's like, well, he's like, all right, we thought this planet was safe.
let's go to a planet that no one
Let,
cares about.
let's go to the unknown regions, and no one will be able to find that. And he's gonna have
Finger quotes.
two wayfinders made, and those are the only ways to get there, type of thing. So that could be a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we get that. But
Yeah, we were just talking about. I'm like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, how? Because like Tarkin has his ways. Because he's already shut down multiple program. Like at this point, he hasn't, but he's about to shut down other programs. Like he has his ways. So I don't know if this is like the beginning of Tarkin getting closer to Palpatine in the sense of like Palpatine lets him in on what he's actually planning to do, kind of thing.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Because I don't think that doctor is making out of this thing alive.
I don't either. So yeah, either he's gonna get killed or he's just gonna be
I think
imprisoned
he's gonna
for
get
his.
eaten by something.
That's one of his science experiments is what causes his
Well, I
death.
mean,
He gets eaten by
someone's
a
gonna eat
Zillo
him.
beast.
The Zillo Beast might be like, you know what? You're in charge. Not no more. It'd be really cool if the Zillo Beast just goes hams and Godzilla's everyone.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's just something to think about. Like, I'm curious on how they're gonna keep funding this. 'Cause, yeah, you're right, like, Palpatine can just say, "This is what we're doing," but, like,
Well, I think
there's protocols because he doesn't want people to know.
well, I think Project Necromancer is his main focus. So like all the other side ones with like the Zillow Beast, whatever creatures are doing, like Project Necromancer is the focus. So like he could cancel all the other programs but keep the Necromancer project going, which would
But I
be
but
a
you don't think,
smaller
like, having
funding.
the Zilla Beast there is for that reason to, like, help figure out how to, like,
No,
manipulate their stuff?
no, they're separate.
You think it's
Project
separate stuff?
Necromancer is inside the vault. That's the only thing going on in there.
Gotcha.
All the other stuff, because like whenever forget which episode it was. I think it was when they put Omega in the vault, like when he's explaining like there's other projects going down on whatever things, but this is the vault. This is where special ones are going. Like he said that like there's two separate things going on,
Mm.
and so like if Palpatine,
He says it's all canceled, but then he actually is
well, he could just cancel everything but Project Necromancer, and the funding for that wouldn't be enough to like have any red
make a
flags.
dent.
Yeah, so like he could hide it better to keep it a secret, and so
Mm.
Tarkin wouldn't see the funding and the money shifted in a certain project and not know about it. So um, that's probably what will
What's gonna
happen.
happen?
Yeah, um, but who knows? We'll see next week. Um, so yes, so they're back in the jungle, and
Crosshair and Wrecker.
yep, they're talking about trying to get to Tantus. He's like, or to like the facility, and Crosshair's like, we're going. Record's like, are we sure we're going the right way? And Crosshair's like, yes, we're going the right way. I've been here before. Basically, I escaped, and now. But Record's like, it's kind of funny you escaped, but now you're going back, going in, breaking in, and Crosshair's like, well, I hope I never had to be here. And he looks at his hand, and his hands.
Shaken.
So that's rough for him.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, then he talks about Omega
yep.
and,
And
like,
so yeah, so he's like, Omega didn't leave me behind when she had every opportunity, so I owe her one. So I'm here for her. And then Hunter comes around the corner, and they're pointing guns at each other. And he's like, "Ah, cool, you're alive." And they're like, Wrecker's like, whatever happened to Rampart?" And I like how Hunter's like, "Unfortunately, Hemlock survived."
yeah.
And uh, Rampart's like, I heard that. And he comes around the corner. But at this point, Hemlock has already ordered the troopers to go do a sweep of the jungle and check out the wreckage. And so you got troopers coming in, searching the wreckage, or going out into the jungle and looking for stuff, looking for the people, the survivors. And so now it's kind of like a race. What's going to happen first? Are they going to find the Bad Batch, or is the Bad Batch going to get into Mount Tantus first? So they're going, blah, blah, blah. Um, oh, so then we are back on the science vessel where Echo is, and he gets
Busted.
busted by the AP droid. And the droid's like, "What are you doing here? I have jurisdiction here. What are you doing here? Looking for a manifest or something." And like, "You can't do that. Blah blah blah. You're not allowed to be here." And Echo is like, "Well, bang," and shoots him. And then he looks down at the droid and looks at his hand. And next scene in this, he is putting on a droid hand, and he's like, "Thanks for the hand."
Mhm.
But it's kind of funny. So it's like, we'll see it later, but like it like attaches perfectly to the thing,
Yeah.
because like
They probably, like
Well, there's
'cause haven't we seen it?
well, we've
Where,
seen
like s
the wrist opens up, and then they
yeah.
put the wrist into the port on those things. So like, I guess that's a thing.
Mhm.
So like,
Which is like, why didn't he realize he coulda just got a robot hand this entire time?
right. I just don't know if 'cause we don't see him like move his fingers or
No, I
anything.
don't think it's mobile. It seemed like it's kinda just like a cup.
He needs to
Is
get
he's
like
able to hold his gun with it, but
he needs to get a special um what's like a little like attachment. What is it called?
I don't know.
Like that what not converter, what is it? What is it called? Like a USB to USB C 3 like what's it called? Like the little like converter thing.
Converter thing?
Do you not know? I guess I
No.
adapter.
He adapter. He needs to adapt and plug in so that he can actually move his
Yes.
fingers.
Yep. Uh, a screwdriver to hand adapter. um.
It's like when you go over to UK and you have to get a plug adapter for their plugins.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like that.
Yep. And so yeah, and he has to sneak out, and I like how he sneaks out the way he snuck in through the droid
Mhm.
port thing, the droid vacuum. And so he plops out, and he's just creeping around cargo in the cargo bay and walks in behind a group of troopers, and that's how he gets in. Pretty easy. And so we go back to the vault, and they're like, Omega's there with the kids, and they're like, "This is really weird. It's like so quiet. There's no one here. They haven't taken our blood sample yet today. Like, what's going on?" And Omega's like, "Well, this is my opportunity to go scout a path out, go see what's actually going on, type of thing." And so she's like, "Well, I'm gone. If the medical droid comes before you gotta cover me." And they're like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "You just need to like watch out for me, get my back, and like if you don't know what to do, just like make something up. Like whatever it is, just make something up.
You'll figure
So
it out.
you'll figure it out." And so she goes and she pops some panels in her room and starts climbing. Um, they're back in the jungle, and there's a discussion between Rampart and Crosshair about following
I
orders,
really like this conversation too.
and Rampart's basically like good clones follow orders or whatever, and Crosshair is like yes, but also depends on
Who gives the
who's
orders?
who gives your orders. And Rampart's like, well, you and I are pretty much the same. We're only loyal to ourselves. And Crosshair walks away, and he's like, I've changed,
Or he
and
said I used to be.
but I've changed.
Mhm.
And then Rampart mumbles under his breath, "We'll see about that," type of thing. So it's like that line is like, okay, we believe Crosshair, but that them putting that line in there is like
Scary.
is scary.
Mhm.
But I also with that conversation, I feel like
I think it's more towards him. Like, especially now that he's captured, like I feel like he's gonna betray the Bad Batch for sure.
well, we're gonna jump the gun a little bit, but like they get separated. Like Rampart gets separated from them when the bear attacks, and he gets captured by the troopers. But there's a moment where Crosshair is like stops and is like, "Where's Rampart?" And so I think next episode, Crosshair is gonna go back to save Rampart, and that like
Oh,
loyalty is gonna like
interesting.
switch Rampart. Like you could have left me behind, but you saved me, and so then he's gonna in a sense have to owe the Bad Batch or owe Crosshair. So I think there's a possibility that Rampart could switch and maybe not be a rebel, but like enough to like
Maybe be a rebel though.
see like it'd be cool. Like I wouldn't mind seeing him again. Um, but we'll have to just watch. But um, So then there's a cool part where like Echo, he's sneaking around or whatever and hacking into systems, and then it flashes, then it jumps to Omega sneaking around by climbing and stuff. So it was just kind of cool that two people at the same time are like sneaking around in the same facility and they're
Mhm.
just doing back to back. And this is when she's climbing up in these delivery boxes with the blood samples in it, like
Almost cut her head off.
going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And
dude.
every time I thought her fingers were going to get cut
Yeah,
off because she's
it
holding
was
onto the rails that they were
nerve-wracking.
on. And it's like you don't know where they're coming from because they go up, down, left, right, like every direction.
It's like a code for a video game. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start.
Yep. So I was
Hack.
like,
Like, they're all over the place.
yep,
And so, like, one, it looked like she was getting used to the amount of their moving, and then all of a sudden she got up to another level, and one almost took her head off, and then, like, so there was no way to predict it, so
yep,
it's gonna be hard to carrying a baby Jedi through that.
yep. But then also right after that, it shows the Bad Batch sneaking through the woods.
Mhm.
So like three groups of people are sneaking around, but they see troopers in the distance and they sneak around and they get to like a wall cliff thing, and they have to like end up climbing it and they're trying to figure out what to do. And Rampart's like, "This is stupid," blah blah blah. And he goes and sits down, puts his feet up basically. And did you notice it right away, or did you not
No,
notice it?
I didn't notice it right away
Oh, I
until it
recognize
started
it.
making noise.
I recognize it right away that it was the bear that we saw in like episode 3 or whatever it was,
Mhm.
because like it has like the yellow leaf
Shade, yeah.
scale fur thing or whatever. And so this giant bear that we saw only in the dark, but now we get to see it in the light. And Hunter's like, slowly get up from where you are. Well, that didn't do anything. And it starts like growling and creeping in. And Rampart's like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. And we can't do that because look where we are. Wrecker grabs him and covers his mouth, but you hear him screaming with the closed mouth, which is kind of funny. um, and so then they just start fighting this bear. Cross like Hunter, he's like waving his knife at him. That doesn't do anything. Crosshair tries to like do something, whatever. Wrecker jumps on him, tries to give him a bear hug from behind. uh,
Literally.
Bear hug. He gets yeeted, yeeted as the kids would say. And like one, he hit the tree, and
Yay.
like he like I thought he got knocked out. Cause like,
Yeah,
but then like immediately like they grab him and he's getting up. I'm like,
but they had, like, carry him though.
yeah, but he was actually still awake though. I thought he was
Yeah.
completely out. Um, but while all this is happening, this is Rampart. He just runs away into the woods, screaming basically. So then it flashes, goes back to the vault, and the medical droid comes in with the doctor, the acting doctor, and first goes to the Pantoran girl. I forget her name.
I
I don't
don't
know.
remember.
Eva is the pink girl. I can't remember what the Pantoran's name is, but she gets her blood sample and she's like, I gotta think of something. What do I say? What do I say? And she's like, Doctor
I'm
so and so,
hungry.
I'm still hungry. And then the doctor's like, oh,
It'll
it'll pass.
pass.
Like what?
It's
If you're
dark as
hungry,
heck,
it
dude.
doesn't pass when you're hungry. Like, okay, whatever. And so she's just going from room to room. Like we don't go. We don't see her stop with the baby. I don't think.
No, because the baby's the last one. Because the baby was across. Because remember the blue girl walks across to the other side, drops off the baby, and then walks to her cell.
But I thought it was Eva on the one that it was Eva, Omega, and Jax because Jax was like because I went to Eva and next one was Omega cell. I thought and Jax said, well, can I be next? Like, don't go into that
I
room
thought it
with.
was blue girl, Eva, Omega, Jax, and then the baby.
I don't know. I thought that Jax was the last on his side. That's why he wanted the doctor to skip
I
to
think
one
on
room.
his side, I think the baby's a cross.
But then the Pantoran girl was on the other side then with the baby.
No, she wasn't. She dropped out the baby and then went to her own cell.
Right. But those two
Oh, you
cells are
think
on the same side because it was Eva and then Jax was like, "Hey, can I be next?" And there are
oh,
three
yeah,
door
yeah,
rooms right
yeah.
there. And
Yeah, so
she's
I don't think they did the baby because they probably
or
would've
there's nothing the baby can't do a diversion yet. So they're like, we're not gonna waste
your
production
viewing
on
time.
viewing time
Or
on
also, like, maybe they don't want to see babies get poked by a droid.
didn't we see that already?
No, we just saw him get kidnapped by a bounty hunter.
Chat last night. I'm pretty sure I thought
Did we
that
see
they
it
seen that
yet?
baby get a blood sample taken, but I don't know.
Oh,
So
we saw Cad Bane do one.
we saw that. Yep.
Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Um. So after the Pantoran's like, I'm hungry, or whatever, it goes back to Omega climbing around, and she comes to a spot where there's a vent slits or whatever, and she's like, "What's going on in here?" And she looks through, and the giant Zillow beast is in a giant
Mhm.
pool getting laser beamed
Shocked.
to like stay down into the water or whatever. And I was like, yes, Zillow Beast is back, baby.
Yeah, when I
And
saw that, I was like, "Oh, Jeremiah's gonna love
'cause I think I
this."
said that last week that she's gonna release the Zillow Beast
Mhm.
as a diversion or whatever. And so then you see her like going back as fast as she can, like the opposite direction. And so then it goes to the doctor going to Eva, and Eva's like gets her sample taken, and she's like, "Doctor so and so, I feel sick.
I
I don't
don't
think
feel
I'm doing."
good.
And she's like, "Oh gosh, not this now." And she's like, "Hey, do a diagnostics on this girl." So the thing starts scanning her, blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, you're just fine, but droid, do some extra monitoring for her, keep a close watch on her, blah blah blah." She leaves, and this is when Jack's like, "Can I be next?" To like slow down the process. And she's like, "No, your turn will come." And then she turns the corner and goes in, and Omega's just sitting there. Which it got me. I was like, "What? What? Why is she sitting there already?" Like it got me. She got back fast enough.
Yeah.
So
And
um,
she's, like, sitting there, like, evil looking almost, like,
no,
like
she's like smiling, like,
no, but it was just, like, it's so cool, like, she's so BA right now, like, she just seems like she's, like, in charge, like, she's the boss.
"Oh, she is."
Like, it's so cool, like, her persona is so much different than, like, a weak child now, it's like, "What up? You thought I was gone? I'm here the whole time, take my blood. I dare you." Like, she just has this, like, vibe about her right now, that's so cool.
Yep. And so then it then jumps to Echo finding the lab that we have seen many times where the initial blood testing was taking place. And he's, hacking in. He's going through all these different clones. It shows her. He accidentally goes past her one
Mhm.
file and then has to go back, which is kind of funny. And then while this is happening, Emery walks in, and it was so abrupt that like he was not aware that she was like right away. Like it wasn't enough time for him to like
Put
hide.
his fake hand back on
Like
properly.
his hand was he didn't have his gun in his hand. His hand was on the counter still. And then you see him just kind of like trying to like nonchalantly put everything back together, and she it zooms in on him putting the hand back on, and her just kind of like thinking, she's like, troopers aren't supposed to be in here. And he's like, "Oh yeah, just doing a quick security check, blah blah blah, following orders, blah blah blah, everything's good to go." And he starts walking away, and she's like, "Echo, your name's Echo, right?" And he stopped. I'm like, this is such a good scene.
It was so good.
I loved it so much. And he stops and turns around, and she's like, "Omega told me about you." And he's like, "Well, she told us about you too." And
Well, he called her name out too.
Yep. And she's like, Omega told us about you too. And, she said that she saw something in you and thought that maybe you could be of help, but, I'm still cautious. I don't know if I can believe her. And he takes the helmet off and he's like, "You're a clone. Like, how could you do all these experiments on your brothers?" And she's like, that like caught her off guard and with like an ashamed tone.
Mhm.
Like, I was just doing my job. He's like, "Well, I've heard that before." And he's like, "How could you do this to your brothers? Like, I'm here to say." She's like, "Oh, we knew you were gonna come eventually because Omega said her brothers were gonna come and to save her." He's like, "Not just her. We're here to save all the clones." And she's like, "Well, you're not gonna be able to get to the vault where she's at because she says where she, Omega is. But there's no way you can get to her without my help." And so, it's like, looks like Doctor
Emery's gonna
Emery Carr is gonna betray the Empire and help save Omega and the rest of the clones. And so, the question is, what is her fate gonna be?
Mhm.
Is she, I could see her giving her life to save Omega. It's like, but like, it'd be cool to have her and Omega like in another show, like working together because they're sisters. Like that'd be
Oh, that would
cool.
be cool.
Like Omega being trained as like a doctor, like in a sense, like medical stuff. That'd be cool. Um, but it also got me thinking, like, are they gonna rescue Nala Se? Like,
Probably.
there's so many things that can happen in one episode next week.
And it cannot be 22 minutes long.
Like, it has to be an
Doesn't make any
hour.
sense.
They have to break. Okay, we should. I will finish the episode and then we'll talk. There's one more scene. Then we'll do all of our theories of what could happen. But it then jumps to Omega and the kids in the vault, and they're huddled together again.
Weren't they like drinking coffee or tea or something like that?
That is true. I forgot to mention that. When you're trying to escape
Prison.
a prison medical facility, the best way to discuss the details of your escape plan is over a hot beverage such as coffee or tea. And coincidentally, our sponsor today is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So let's take a little commercial break and hear what they have to say.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So yes, Omega is there sitting with the kids in the vault. They're huddled together, and they're like, what happened? Like, what took you so long? Like, what'd you find out? And she's like, I found something big, which yes means a big giant Zillo beast, but also like big, like this is like the
A big
plan.
plan.
A big plan is like, I have a plan, and I need your help. And it was awesome music, and
Dude, the music in this episode was so intense. The
oh,
whole
that
time.
whole like season, but like these last few episodes, like okay,
When they're
you
like
don't,
in the woods, you hear like the
yeah,
music. Like,
but okay, you don't know this, but like there's so Hans Zimmer does the soundtrack to Interstellar,
mm,
and everyone just loves the
poor guy.
soundtrack to that. And there's like this famous piece, one of the tracks from the soundtrack And someone took that in the Discord, took the music from that track and like put it on the last 2 minutes of last episode when they're trying to, dock on or get onto the other ship, attach to the other ship. Dude, it fits so perfect. Like,
It ruined your life.
so you gotta, I should send it to you just so you get
Is it
hyped
in the
about the music.
Discord?
It's in the Discord in the Bad Batch thing. I forget what was it.
I'll go look.
Sky King? Is that who it was?
They did it
maybe?
for you?
They just well, anyone. He just posted it, so but it was perfect music for that final scene. But yeah, the music has been great this season. The
For sure.
Kiner family. So it's like the dad and his 2 kids are like all working on the music for this. So it's
That's
awesome.
so cool.
And so, but I still want Hans Zimmer to do a Star Wars movie.
That'd be sweet.
Dude,
Or a show.
Has he ever done a show?
I don't know.
I guess I could Google it. But like, yeah, music has been great. And the tension at the very end of this episode was great as well. But that begs the question, what's going to happen next week?
Too much.
Because so many things are going to have to happen. So one, the team has to get into Mount Tantus. So Wrecker, Crosshair, Hunter have to get into the facility. But also, like I said, I think Crosshair is going to try and rescue Rampart. So there's that. That's going to take a couple minutes there of watch time. We got Omega and the kids all have to escape. They have to release the Zillow Beast. They have to, Echo, he's doing his part with Dr. Carr. So, like, how is that going to play out? And so then we got to see how the other doctor is going to try and stop the kids while Emery.
She's going to be a pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah. So then, but Dr. Carr and Echo are going to try and get into the vault. And
yeah,
do we really think all those clone commandos, the 500 that they have guarding the door, is going to let another trooper walk in with the doctor? Like,
I don't know, bro.
I don't know how that's going to happen. We got.
Well, and then you got to also think, like, dude, it'd be so cool if one of those Jedi young kids, like, force chokes or push that other doctor, knocks her out or something.
Could be, but there could also be other Jedi there that they have. It's not with the kids. We don't know. So all these different stories, but then like we mentioned Nala Se, like are they gonna try and rescue Nala Se? Is Nala Se gonna give her life to save Omega?
Do you thinking like if Echo and that doctor get all the way in there and then all the kids gone, they all escaped already?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, so then
they're gonna get in and the kids already escaped. But then like
all of a sudden you're gonna hear a giant roar because the Zillow Beast got released and is just like going to town on the outside of the building. So everyone's gonna be forced to go out there and then they can all go get all the other clones.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, Rex is gonna show up probably.
But like, how are they gonna try and release all the clones that are held captive? Like, that seems to be not in the vault, even though they're part of Project Necromancer. They're not in the vault.
It's not in the vault because Omega used to go down there. Remember?
Yeah, and they escaped from that. But then, like, what's going to happen to Dr. Hemlock? Like, he's going to be taking care of business, trying to stop everything from happening.
And then you got Dr. Persing, or not Dr. or whatever that. What's that guy's name? I said Dr. Persing. That's
Rampart.
Rampart is going to either betray them or help them. I don't know. Either way, he's selfish. So we know that.
But I think he's going to turn around because Crosshair is going to save him. So he's going to have like a moment where he has to have a decision.
Crosshair was like punching that dude in the back the whole walk.
Wrecker was pushing him too. I'm like, bro,
leave him alone. Just let him walk. Jeez Louise. They kept like shoving him and kicking him in the shin.
But we also have to consider the assassin clone that everyone thinks is Tech.
I forgot about Tech.
Like, is Tech the assassin clone, or is he this one of the clones that's being experimented on. Like he's in the
Dude,
facility
that
somewhere.
would have been crazy if Echo was going through that and he saw Tech.
Oh, they should have had that.
Like, what if we missed it?
I don't think. I think he looks so unique that we would have noticed because they were all like the same face, but the hair changed.
Yeah, but
dude,
that would have been so cool.
That would have been
losing our mind, bro.
Yeah, that would have been cool. So are we gonna get information about that? Because like if we don't get that, if no confirmation that then are we just gonna say that Tech is officially dead? Like if next week,
oh yeah, if we don't see any confirmation, that boy's dead.
Man,
which would be stupid. It's like we just forgot about this guy. There's no way.
I don't know. But then like somehow, because like we're fully confident that they're not going to kill off Omega. So then somehow all this stuff is going to have to happen. She's going to have to escape somehow and go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I still think all the Bad Batch is going to die, but Omega's going to survive. Like, they're probably not going to kill off the kids, the other 3 kids, or 4 kids. So there's just so many things that have to happen. And if Palpatine shows up, I really don't want Vader to show up. I don't want that at all.
No, I think at this point it would kind of pull you away from the real story.
Yeah, like it would be cool, like I mentioned like last week or 2 weeks ago, that it could be an Inquisitor and it could be Barriss as an Inquisitor, because literally 3 days later her Tales of the Empire episodes are going to drop. So it'd be cool to like see like a preview. Okay, she did finish. Well, let's see the story of how she got to leading up to Tantus. That'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
Drew,
I'm
you
excited.
have any?
I think Rampart is just going to betray them. I don't think.
I think Rampart's going to die, or do you think he's going to survive?
I think he'll die. I think that that doctor is going to just kill him off.
Well, the big question is, how many doors is Echo going to open?
Dude, I swear I thought he opened up one door this episode.
I don't think he did.
He didn't. But okay, so let's. I was going to talk to you about this. If the door opens and we see it from the door perspective, we don't know how he opened it. Can we confirm? Like,
no, because he could have just pushed a button, unless it shows him with the thing in, and then on the outside it opens. But we have to see him open a door with his screwdriver.
I was gonna say, did we say screwdriver or did we just say
yes?
We did. We didn't say
he walks through doors
how many doors.
100 times.
I was gonna say, we didn't say how many doors is he gonna
open.
Walking
through an automatic door does not count.
He still opened it.
But the question is, if he goes in with his screwdriver and opens up 100 cells with clones in it,
does that count?
Does that count?
Yes.
As a cell door count as a door?
Does. Yes, 100% does.
I feel like if they all open at one time, it just counts as one door.
No.
And it's not even a door; it's just like a bar, like
now you're getting too technical. What did we bet again? I forgot.
It was Godzilla -1 streaming.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be like $20.
By the time we find out, it might actually end up just being on Max or something. And then
probably
I'll just give you my login. Maybe I don't do that, you guys, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it counts. And you open up all of them with your hand. He could have chose to open up one of the cells. He didn't have to.
But what if he goes in with a screwdriver, whatever, and then he takes it out and then goes to a computer screen, pushes buttons, and then the doors open?
No, because then he activated the part to get to that part, and that's what I'm like. I don't remember saying how many he's gonna open with his arm. I think we just said how
7.
many doors. No, but I think we said how many doors is he gonna open, and he's
What?
been opening doors. We
No,
didn't. We didn't. I
you're
think
just
you're
getting
gonna get
scared. You're just
technical.
getting scared you're gonna lose. That's why you're trying to
You're
change
getting
the.
technical. I think we just said how many doors he's gonna open. We didn't say with his hand.
It's implied
I
because
should
that's
have
all he
just.
did the first 2 seasons.
Yeah. And didn't he do that too in like the first like 4 episodes in the last season of Clone Wars too? He at least opened up one door like that.
He did a bunch because they released him from that facility on
Mm-hmm.
the Techno Union's planet. I forget what the planet name is, but
It was
Yeah.
techno. It's the planet.
yep,
They only listen to techno music.
right.
There's spice.
But how many people do you think the Zillo Beast is going to eat? That's going to be
That's our new one.
Gets our new Q&A for this
Okay.
episode.
Or do you want to make another bet?
No, we're not making another bet.
Oh, come on.
No, we already have a standing bet. We can't double up on bets.
2 and under.
Really? You don't think he's going to eat more than 2 people?
I don't think so. It's a kid's show.
Dude, they kill people all the time.
Well, eating and killing them are 2 different things. Physically eating, no more than 2. Killing people, that number is to the sky.
So 2 or less. I think it's going to be like
Just go on and just like
he's
eat
gonna be
everyone.
eating like 10 of them probably at least.
All right, you're 10
You're 2. All right. Cool.
or less.
10 or less. Probably no more than 10. So 3 to 10. You're 2 or less.
Mm-hmm. How mad would you be if he doesn't eat one person?
Probably more
Just-
mad than
us.
you if Echo doesn't open it one door. But I don't know. Like I said, we said like we have no idea how it's gonna play out. Like we hope it's an hour and 15
It has
minutes.
to be at least an hour, dude. At least 40 minutes. It cannot be 20. All right. How mad would you be if we turn it on and it's 22 minutes?
I'll be mad. Now, the Ahsoka, or not Ahsoka, Clone Wars Season 7 finale, that was only like 21 minutes or something like that. It was super
True.
short. And it was amazing, but it was
That's
also
really
a
good.
very small, like all they had to escape, and that's all they had to do.
The plot was smaller. This plot is massive.
Right, so
Unless they push one button, all the clones get out, and what's her name gets out with them. That one girl, nothing really happens to her. All the kids go out and release the Zillo Beast. The Zillo Beast attacks them, and then they all find the Bad Batch, and they run off, and they find a ship, and then...
well, what they could do is first release all the clones, and then the clones storm the vault, because then they would have the numbers to like at least try and fight against all the clone commandos.
How many of them can swim?
Well, there's no water, so there's a river, but
If we get one person, like if it gets to the point where they have to swim, and Rampart's like, I can't swim.
that'd be actually kind of
That'd be hilarious.
that'd be good.
That'd be awesome.
I just wish Star Wars made fun of itself more or did stuff like that more often. But
It's like they get all the way to the river. They're all running with 100 clones. They're all jumping in. And Rampart's like, I can't swim. And then Crosshair's like, too bad. And then just gets in the water and like, they just wave to him. I would probably like die laughing. Like that would be and then the Zillo Beast comes and eats him.
Now it'd be cool though if the Zillo Beast, like, because we only saw one, but like it'd be cool if they had a bunch of them.
I swear I thought there's more than one in that.
Nah, there's
pool.
There's no way they could fit 2 in that pool because they would get so crammed and they would get tangled up. But it'd be cool if they had a bunch of them, and then so like if they have to abandon the planet because all the funding's done, like the Zillo Beast has a new planet to continue its
mating on.
like so that because it's the last one and they're distinct. So like it'd be cool if there was a bunch of them that they cloned, then they all get released into the planet and then they can like come back as a species and have a planet again. That'd be cool.
Zilbeast is a really cool character.
Yep. All right. Well,
You think Omega's gonna train that one and ride it?
no.
Well, Boba did it. She could do it.
Well, okay, that was a Rancor, and he had a connection with it. But if the Zillobeast,
Where's Omega's dog?
Oh, Batcher, I think
Yeah.
I think he's left on the Pabu.
Oh, poor Batcher. We really need him.
It would be nice to have him back.
We need her right now. She could help track.
Yeah.
I think those one clones came out with more of those dogs. Like that could have been a fun dog on dog fight scene.
I don't think they'll do a dog fight. You know.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like animal fighting is no, but people getting hit by cliffs and dying completely is okay.
Yeah. Can't upset PETA.
I was gonna say PETA put in some hard work over the years.
Do you think PETA gets upset over like fictional alien animals?
Probably, dude.
Fighting
Those people
getting eaten or killed or whatever.
If you're part of PETA, well,
we respect your right to believe in that, but we do not participate in
aren't
that.
Also listening because
I work
just
at
the hat.
I work at a meat market, so
you work at a meat market. The hat I'm wearing, you're probably not listening to this. But if you are, don't judge us.
And PETA, if you want to sponsor us,
what are we gonna be sponsored?
Is Wesley Andrews vegan? Considered vegan? There we go. We sell a vegan product as our sponsor.
Well, coffee is a vegan product, so
unless you get like a bug, like in the beans, but
that's just getting too.
But then it gets roasted away, so on accident.
Yeah, it's not accident. It's not. We don't want to be roasting green moths. There's so many moths.
Yep.
And coffee, it's a weird thing.
Really?
Yeah, like because they like nest in burlap.
Really?
So this time of year they'll start hatching.
So you have like moths like from Africa or wherever you're getting your beans from? Like, is that like
there's issues with it for sure. But it's the same as when you get bananas, you get banana spiders.
I've never had a spider in my banana.
No, but if you get bananas, like not restaurants, but like places will get banana spiders.
Right. But like
when I worked at Target, I worked in the food section. I opened a box and there was a dead banana spider, and it was the size of my face, bro. It was nuts because they're huge and scary.
Did you yell?
It was already dead, probably.
But I feel like moths that are like alive to hatch, like that's like an invasive species or something, right? And like I'd say like get out of your facility and like
I think they're all from like southern like America. They look like normal moths. Like they're
okay, but cool. They could wreak havoc on the ecosystem if.
Well, we have a lot of blue light traps around the warehouse.
Oh.
We don't really see them for more than.
So you do purposely try and kill bugs.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, PETA. We're not getting sponsored by you. All right, Drew. Any other predictions, hopes, dreams, expectations for next week?
No, I'm just ready. My hope and my dream for next week is that it is longer than 22 minutes. Longer than 20 anything. 29 minutes is too short. My hopes and dreams is the episode as long as the first one. That's my only hopes and dreams. Anything they throw at us, any way they figure out how to do this, I'm okay with.
It's going to be good either way.
all dying off, that's cool. If tech ends up killing them all, that's going to be really sad and depressing, but pretty cool. Whatever it is, I just don't want it to be 20 minutes. That's it.
Right.
I'll make an announcement in the Discord on Wednesday morning once I see how long it is, if I'm going to do a watch party or not.
Cool. And I'm going to try and do a reaction video to it. So hopefully
it's 20 minutes.
Hopefully it's a 20 minute.
So
Because those are hard to edit because you got to have like less than 10 minutes of footage. And it's like you can't go more than like 10 seconds. Or I try to be less than 8 seconds at a time. And then YouTube doesn't flag it.
There's a minute there when you first started out. It was like you had to
take it down,
put it up, take it down, put it up.
I didn't know the rules, so like I was like, but less than 8 seconds is like the magic number of continuous footage. But if it's like an hour long episode and there's so much going on, like I might have to do like break it up into like 3 episodes so I could have like
3-episode reaction video.
Yeah, just so I can have every 20 minutes have 10 minutes. Like I'm having 30 minutes total. But who knows what will happen. All right. Well, that's everything for the breakdown and theories and predictions. But we got to transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time. So let's take a transition.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Cool. Well, we have 2 voicemails tonight.
Not 7 first one, like last week, man.
Not like last week. But first one up, back at it again, Daniel Contreras.
Ooh.
We heard from him for the first time in a long time last week, and he has another
back in
voicemail
action
tonight with some information that I didn't realize. So this is going to be a fun one for us to discuss.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on to voicemail today to say congratulations for podcasting about Star Wars for 5 years. If I've got my data correct, it was April 23rd, 2019 that we got the very first episode of the Mandalorian podcast. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been tagging along with you guys ever since that very first episode of that show.
Gee.
I re-listened to it that first episode again recently, and I think the makeup of the host was a little different than what we got now. But that was the start of it. That led to, I think it was Clone Wars Saved, and of course Empire Radio, the voicemail cinematic universe, everything. So congrats on such a legacy. If you haven't done so already, I'd love to hear a bit more about how you got interested in podcasting in the first place, how that crew formed, all the people that you brought on since, kind of what you've accomplished in those times, that 5 years, and what you hope to, go further with Empire Radio and everything else Star Wars podcasting related. So anyway, just wanted to say great job. Congratulations. I've been there from the beginning, and keep up the great work. All right. This is Daniel. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel, for that. We have known for a while that you've been one of our OG fans from the beginning. So thank you for sticking in it for 5 years. So we've been doing Empire Radio for a little over 4 years, but we started the Mandalorian podcast before that. So he asked how that got started. So Drew, you can kind of answer that one because it was technically you had the idea.
Yeah. I remember I was closing up Wesley Andrews and I was texting you on Facebook because I didn't have your number. And we were talking about Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, I think.
I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
Because we always Jeremiah always posts stuff about Star Wars, and I would talk to him about Star Wars. And then I think we were talking about if we were going to try to go, because I asked you if you were going to go to Star Wars Celebration in Chicago.
Because that would have been in spring of 2020, right?
No, I think it was
because the one that we were going to go to
the Mandalorian. It was before COVID.
You were talking to me about it before COVID in 2019, but we were going to go to the 2021, the 2020 Star Wars Celebration.
And where was that one at?
That was in Chicago. And that was right after the Mandalorian.
So the Chicago one never went out? That one got canceled?
I don't think so.
I thought it was Anaheim that got canceled, and that's why they postponed it and they brought it back to Anaheim. I thought Chicago went down. I thought Chicago was 2018.
I don't know, I'm looking at, but you can continue talking as I'm looking.
But anyways, so I was messaged. I thought it was about that. And then I really wanted to start a podcast. I did like a makeshift podcast once with my cousin who was one of the hosts of the Mandalorian season 1 podcast. Josiah. So we did like a podcast. I don't even remember what it was about. We did one and we were trying to figure it out, and I was trying to figure out how we could do this. And I wanted to do it on something that I like. And I was listening to this podcast called Flash TV Talk, and the whole podcast was about the Flash TV show on CW. And I'm like, why don't I take that concept about this new Star Wars show and make a Star Wars podcast about the show? Because there's already Star Wars podcasts out there, and I don't know how I'm going to compete with that. That was my original thought. So I was like, all right, so we're going to start the Mandalorian podcast. And I got the name. I figured out how to sign up for it and everything. And then I asked Jeremiah if he wanted to do it with me. And you were like, oh, I don't know. I don't like to talk.
Really?
Like, yeah, you were like, I don't know. You were like pretty hesitant. And then somehow you just decided to do it.
I feel like I was.
Well, you weren't
on
confident.
board for it.
You were
Really?
on board, but you weren't really confident in the beginning.
I wonder if I still have that.
have these messages.
I know. I'm going to do that look after. But that's over 5 years ago. That just, which we don't talk on Facebook much anymore, so it's probably not that far up. But
I was going to say, yeah, we could probably find it because we talk other.
So
ways,
I'm looking this up for Star Wars Celebration, and I think we're kind of both wrong, but also both right. So Star Wars Celebration Chicago was in April 2019, which would have been right at the time of our first episode of The Mandalorian, because they had the first trailer for The Mandalorian, and we did. I think our first episode was a trailer breakdown on the Mandalorian podcast.
Maybe.
I think we did like an intro one that was like 5 minutes.
We did
an
intro one,
but like our first real episode was that trailer breakdown, which Daniel said was April 19th, and so this was April 11th through 15th was Star Wars Celebration. But the following year, in Anaheim 2020, that one got canceled.
So I was right. So I was talking to you because I think we were trying to plan if we were going to go together, and then it sold out before we could buy tickets.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that, but anyway.
And then me and my cousin Josiah and Jeremiah decided to do this podcast, and like Jeremiah said, we did a couple episodes to get in the mood, start it out, and we figured it out, and it was. And then lead up to that, I mean, we've told this story before on the podcast, but for you new listeners, I needed intro music because I didn't want to start a podcast and have no intro music. I can't steal Star Wars music. Like, how am I going to make this feel like Star Wars? And so then I remembered that Andrew is a huge Star Wars fan because he's another person online I always talk to about. I wasn't really that close of friends with him when we went to college at the same time.
But did you even know him in person, though?
I met him before, and our wives were friends in college because they worked together on like, it was like some like diverse group at North Central. Like, so they worked together on that stuff. So like I knew of him. And I knew what he did, but he was too cool for me to hang out with because he was in the.
He's
the
still
Phillips
too cool
group.
for us.
No, we're in the same.
He's way cooler than you and I combined.
Well, that's fair, but don't tell him that. Jeez. We gotta act cool, so he wants to keep coming. But anyway, so then I talked to Andrew, and I was like, "Dude, all right, I'm starting the Star Wars podcast. Is there any way you can do intro music for The Mandalorian?" And I told him exactly what I'm just planning on doing, and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, I would love to do that. That'd be so sweet." And then comes to find out he was nervous about doing it. And I was like, what the heck? But anyway,
really?
So yeah, because he told us that when we brought him on to the Mandalorian episode, he told us that was his first like outside gig that he worked on, and like he tried to figure out. And like what was interesting is because we had no theme music at this point. We didn't know what the theme was. We didn't know anything.
Yeah, no official Mandalorian.
So if you go back
theme.
and listen to the Mandalorian podcast, season 1, all of that music, intro music, it's just off the dome of Andrew. He just made that song up. He wrote it, figured it out. So I still like that song. Every once in a while, I'll go click on one of those older episodes just to hear that.
Yeah, I don't
think
even
it's really
have
cool.
the clip anymore.
Yeah,
I wonder if Andrew has it.
I think we should try to like use it one day as like maybe that should be his intro for EU with Andrew episodes. We'll just play that. That'd be kind of cool.
Have him redo a short 20-second version of it.
Or us just cut it down for 20 and surprise him.
See if he recognizes it.
Yeah. We should. That'd be cool. So anyways, so then that's how, and then Andrew, at the end of that episode, me and Jeremiah looked at each other when we recorded that episode with Andrew, because he did the last episode because we wanted his recap because he was a Star Wars fan.
Because this was after The Mandalorian was done.
Mm-hmm.
This was after episode 9 came out. So Drew and I did like a movie review of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Andrew on to talk about the Star Wars music that he wrote and just kind of like whatever. And
we were already picking thoughts about Empire Radio.
No, I don't think.
Were we?
don't know. I don't think we were. I think because we had him on, and like afterwards, you were bringing me home, and I was like, "Bro, that went amazing. The three of us just jived so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to have him on for like we should." I can't remember who brought it up. But like one of us in like on my way home mentioned we should start a podcast with him with just like general Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember how it worked out.
Then you like texted him or messaged him
as soon as I dropped you off, bro. I just texted him
like,
right
hey,
away.
We want to start a podcast with you as a host. And he was like, right on, we'll do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So our first episode was February 2020. Mm-hmm. We met in person for like the first six episodes. And then COVID happened and we started all remote recording from that. Yeah. So that's the history. And so
we've come a long way.
Yep.
Audio wise, camera wise, editing wise,
music wise.
Like if you would have told us, yeah, for sure. If you would have told us this 5 years ago that this is what we were going to be doing right now,
that we'd have a movie length fan film on YouTube.
Dude, like we would be like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know. It was just like, so like my cousin wasn't able to do it anymore with us and stuff like that. So like just everything fell perfectly in the right format. And like, I don't know. It was awesome. It's still awesome. We still love doing it. Me and Jeremiah, like, I don't know what I would do on Wednesday nights if I didn't do this, you know, like.
Yeah, I have to watch like the first like 30 to 45 minutes of the Survivor episode, and I have to stop it and can't watch the last of it because I have to start recording.
Yeah, but once I get on Survivor, you'll just do watch parties every Wednesday night while I'm in Survivor.
Maybe. Survivor watch parties.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the history of Empire Radio for any new listener, or if you're an old listener.
You didn't know. But so those are still out there, too, so you guys can
the Mandalorian podcast and the Clone Wars Saved podcast are still out there if you want to listen to.
Which Clone Wars Saved is? I love the name of that.
Yeah.
We were before Empire Radio, we were like, should we like do a new show for like a podcast for every show?
Because we had that idea. We were going to have a network of all these podcasts. Then I think I was the one that said, no, guys.
I think
this is stupid.
Yeah.
It was me. It was my idea. We got to just commit to everything being on Empire. The Mandalorian will transfer over to Empire Radio. And so season 1 of Mandalorian is on, our breakdowns are on that podcast, along with the season 1, like behind the scenes, like all those, like 8 episodes. Those are all on the Mandalorian podcast. I can't remember if we have those on Empire Radio or not.
We don't know, because when season 2 came out, that's when we decided to come over to like do it all on Empire Radio. So for like the first 2-3 episodes, we were putting on both platforms to try to get people that were listening to The Mandalorian
Yeah, I remember
to get
that.
used to the transfer over.
Yep.
And then we finished season 2 on Empire Radio.
Yep.
So,
and so then Clone Wars Saved is all of our breakdowns of season 7 of the Clone Wars.
and
And so
that will
one
live
was a lot of-
there.
that one was fun. And so
I love that logo.
I always thought that like if for some reason like we took like a 2-month break or something, like which probably would never happen, but like
never happened.
I would just upload the Clone Wars Saved episodes just for people
Unless
listen
like
to.
I have a baby or something, which I'm not planning on anytime soon. But
Well, you never know.
but there's so many awesome listeners / artists out there that listen to us that we always somehow figure out how to get them to come on episodes, and like our community's so cool. Like I was talking to Luke, my wife's coworker, about it, and he was like, yeah, like just finding you guys and like listening to voicemails and like like listening to your guys' community is so tight knit and it seems so cool. I was like, yeah, well, join the community, bro. Like,
Yeah.
no,
And I still think it's cool how like we have our guest host Grace sometimes come on. Like she found, like, I don't know if she found Dazdor or if Dazdor started following her on Instagram, but then they were following each other. So like she saw one of his posts. I think it was that video that he made of us like with the watermelons and Lego or something.
Oh, really?
Like she commented on that or something like that, and then she started following us. And so then I followed her back, and then I saw all her posts, and like she seems like a fun person. So then we invited her on for an interview, and then we loved her so much that we have her back multiple times. But it's like,
and then we got Lucy, the story of our little sister podcast.
Yeah, little sister. Go check out For Light and Life podcast. Go check that out. But it's just like all these little things that happen. Like if it wasn't for the VCU, Dazdor wouldn't have started Lego stop motion or Lego animation stuff. And so then Grace would never found us. But then like Lucy started her own podcast because of us. But then she was integral in creating the VCU, which Dazdor illustrated. And then she wrote her spin-off series, sequel to the VCU. And then Dazdor has started doing full Lego animations of that story, which he posted the first like part of that. I don't know if you watched that yet, but
I watched it.
He did a full animation of like the first like 10 minutes of Lucy's podcast of the sequel story. And it's like all these other people that are in the Discord started podcasts, and like it's just a lot of fun that like all these little things lead to the next thing, and it's just like
one big tree.
Yeah, so it's like we have our crazy story for you, me, and Andrew, but then like everyone else has their own story that involves us in that equation as well. So
and we feel honored to help you guys build your life stories. Well, like Lucy got best friend out of the whole deal.
Yeah, she met Addie,
and they're like best friends, and they live across the states. Like they don't live close to each other at all. Like one lives literally on the opposite side of
and Addie is the one who helped Lucy write the sequel story and do all the voice acting for that. And so
all to say, you guys are welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
And I think Daniel also asked like what the future holds for Empire Radio, and I think we're just gonna be doing what we've been doing. We'll probably be doing a lot more frequent like book reviews. Would probably be the biggest change because we've done so many things. We're running out of ideas, so now we just have more books on the horizon.
Well, and like, that's one thing. Without Empire Radio or the Mandalorian podcast, Jeremiah would never read a book in his life. So there's a positive thing too.
We've done what, like 10, 11, like a dozen,
so many. Yeah,
like
I mean,
a dozen books by now that I would have never read if it wasn't for the podcast.
Which reminds me, I need to read another book.
We get our next book review is like in a month, so we gotta.
I haven't even started.
I haven't started, but it should be.
That'll be
easy
fine.
read.
But yeah, like it's just like we don't really. Our goal is just to keep growing in small little like goals for ourselves, like hitting 500 on YouTube, our next one to hit 1,000 on YouTube. And like, we have like little goals, but like our goal for our community and stuff is just to keep doing what we're doing and keep building this thing. And like, everyone's still enjoying this thing after 5 years. Or like, if this is one listener, we'd still be doing this because we like doing this and we still really enjoy it. And yeah, I don't know. I love it. It's like my favorite thing every week. And the same with Jeremy too, I would assume. And
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I look forward to it. And so,
yeah,
someday it'll be cool if like we could do this full time.
I mean, that's our goal, but
it's so hard to like make a few $100 a year, let alone enough money to support us as adults. Like you have a family.
And it's one of those things where like most of the money we get from doing this is very little, far between. But the money that we do get doing this, we somehow figure out how to put it back in the community. So like, there's always
to pay for our recording stuff and then just little things here and there. But like, if I just win that Powerball or making millions, then we can go full time.
Or you guys just blow us up on YouTube.
Yeah, go follow us on YouTube. Help us get monetized.
And let's start with this episode. Say you like my mustache so I can keep it. Let's start there. Little goal. Watch the Rebel Moon breakdown and hit 1,000 views on that, and then I have to watch a movie I don't want to watch again. So go do that. Like, there's like these little tiny goals that we're building for you guys, and like, it's at this point like our podcast is self-sustaining, which is cool. And so like, I think that's like the coolest thing. Like, it's funding itself besides our own selves, but like the podcast itself is funding the podcast. So
and
we appreciate all you guys.
And then finally, just the last thing that we would like to do would be to, in 2026, go to Star Wars Celebration, assuming that it's
in the US,
here in the United States,
or in 2026.
Or in
could not even be 20.
I think it will be, just because there's gonna be movies coming out and stuff, so they're gonna be want to do big trailer releases and stuff.
And they haven't been in the US in a long time by then too. Because it was in London.
Oh, it was. So,
and then now it's gonna be in Japan next year. And then so it's due to come back now.
And let's look at in 2022 it was in Anaheim. Then Chicago before that in 2019, then Orlando, and then there was a UK again, Anaheim, and that's the Disney era. So to do for Chicago.
I wouldn't mind. Chicago would be the best option
because it would be closest to us and it'd be nice. But if we're there, we're gonna do a fan meetup. And want all you guys to go.
And I wouldn't mind even Orlando. We can do a fan meetup at Disney World. Everyone could go with you for your first time at Galaxy's Edge, Jeremiah. It's gonna be so awesome.
I'd rather it be in Anaheim. That way, for sure, Andrew would go to Celebration with us. If it's in Florida, I don't know if Andrew would go.
True,
but
that's fair.
We try and make him go.
Either way, we could go to Disney though, and then you guys can all hang out with Miles.
Ooh.
Oh, if it's in, we're coming. Like,
do I have to build a lightsaber?
Oh yeah, you do. And you know what? By then, Miles will probably build one with you, and that'll be a really cool vlog.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, that was like a question that took like a half hour for us.
20-minute rant,
But thank you, Daniel, for that. We love hearing from you all the time. But we have one more voicemail from
Eddie?
Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen.
A question that I thought at multiple times you were going to answer this question tonight without even knowing this was coming up. But he has a cool question for us, so let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio. Owen here with another voicemail. My question for you guys today is, if you had to run a podcast on something other than Star Wars, what would it be? Thanks, may the force be with you. Bye.
Thank you, Owen. At the beginning of the episode, you were about to say something, and then you were just kind of talking about this a few minutes ago, just kind of like trying to think of an idea of what you could do a podcast on. So, Now that we have the question officially, Drew, what would you want to do a podcast on other than Star Wars?
It'd probably be coffee. Like, it'd be Coffee with Drew, which is my Instagram handle, and it would just be
Yeah.
like brewing coffee, talking about that, and then also just talking about like life and stuff like that. That'd
Like when
probably
you
be
went to the
that.
coffee convention a couple weeks ago or whatever,
Yeah.
like vlogging it up at a coffee convention.
Yeah, stuff like that. I didn't even vlog at all. It was weird, but yeah, it'd be something like probably like that. I was kind of still thinking I might do some like edit stuff for brewing for like my Instagram stuff, but like not a podcast. It's hard. Like coming up with topics for Star Wars is hard. Imagine coming up with coffee.
You would have to like make it a mix of things. Coffee, but then also bring back like your
Mustache.
your pipe stuff, or like you could like review tobacco or something, but
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
but that wouldn't
anymore.
be family friendly for that. But
Yeah, that's a different life. That's a long story, and if you ever meet me in real life, I'll explain that story. But that's not a podcast story.
Would you do sports?
No,
You want
and
to do a Chiefs podcast?
I mean, I would do sports, but the thing is, like, I don't follow it the way sports analysts and sport podcasts do. Like, I have my
Right.
favorite teams.
Like, do you do fantasy?
No, because that's too much work.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
complicated.
and that's the thing is like I have like my favorite teams, right? Or I have like the Wolves. And, like basketball, like I know a lot of the players, but I don't know every single player. Like these people
Right.
know every stat on every player in
Right.
the NBA or every football player, everyone who's coming. They're watching like college. I'm like, I don't have time for that, and I don't have that much effort. So no. Or I would just do fishing YouTube channel and just like an outdoor channel.
I think with the coffee stuff, like a YouTube channel would be best rather than a podcast, because you
It
could
would be like a podcast setting, but like YouTube, like brewing as I'm like
brewing,
talking,
showing techniques, and
There's this really cool kid out of Japan. I guess he's not a kid, he's like my age, but it's a gaming channel, but the Japanese culture is super into coffee. So he'll have like pour over talks or something, like coffee talks is what he calls it, and he'll talk about video games and stuff as he's like grinding the coffee in the middle of the thing, and then he'll have a different angle, still having the same conversation as he's brewing a pour over. Like it's so entertaining. It's like my favorite thing.
It's kind of like those like shorts and reels where like it's a clip, but then underneath it, it's like someone cleaning the rug or whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like he'll be like talking like in this fighting video game. Like I don't even care about the video game part, but it's just like how he's like intertwining both, and it's so smooth, and his edits are super cool. And he'll talk about it, and it's like something like that. It'd be like Coffee with Drew would be like me talking about like this is what's happening, or did you guys see that? And I was thinking about even like doing that with like some like Star Wars talk, because there's a little bit where I would do like unboxings, and then I would talk about like this is what's wrong with these toy industry and like what they're doing and stuff like that, and like complaining. Like I had a couple of clips here and there about that stuff. So it'd be like something like that. Like I could do like, did you guys see this theory as I'm like making a coffee? Like that'd be kind of cool. Like that's probably, yeah. But
Cool. I don't know
like it's a lot of work with the 2-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. There's nothing really else I would want to really talk about, like Bible theology stuff. But like, there's so many of those out there, and it's too. It's so like I can't. It can't flow out of me as easily, just because like you have to be like very precise in your theology.
A lot of planning.
So you're not a heretic. So it's like word choice is very specific. That's like I write better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather write than speak on those topics, because I can think things through. But like in the moment, like I'm with theology and Bible stuff, like it's just too much to wing it. So
yeah, and so yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We wouldn't, Uncle Owen. That's the thing. That's why we landed on Star Wars.
Yep. Star Wars is already controversial enough, so
That and it's all.
and divided and stuff. So
Yep.
we have enough of that. But luckily, our community is non-toxic, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. So thank you, Owen, for that. But if you want to get more connected to that non-toxic community that we have here at Empire Radio, go in the description of where you're listening to, links.co/Empire Radio, links spelled with 2 I's. Click that link. It's a landing page for everything Empire Radio. So the best way to join our community is to join the Discord. A lot of fun. There are a lot of people in there. You know, like every episode, like when an episode of a show drops, people are talking about it in a specific channel for that show. So people have been talking about the Bad Batch today. It's a lot of fun. Next week, I'm sure there'll be a lot of chat in there. So if you want to
Yep.
have your thoughts about next week's series finale, join the Discord and you can talk to a bunch of cool people about that kind of stuff. But you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, follow us on YouTube. You can send us voicemails. Like if you've never sent in a voicemail, what's stopping you? Just get it done. Send us a voicemail. You can send us an email to our fan email. I think I just said that right. I don't know. Follow us on Twitch. We live stream all of our episodes.
And next week, the finale episode, you might want to come over on Twitch. Go follow us over there because the chat's going to be popping on.
It's going to
be a lot of fun. So you want to go over there.
Drew may or may not be doing a live stream of a watch party of the finale. So you can watch the episode with Drew as he is watching that, and you can see his live reaction.
And with Acolyte, that's going to happen anyways. So you want to go over there on YouTube.
Because those are going to be Tuesday nights. And so Drew will have
Did they announce that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
The first episode comes out on Tuesday.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Oh,
go watch our trailer breakdown.
Heck yeah, we're doing that again. We're going to play some video games leading up to the drop, like we did last time for the Mandalorian or the Ahsoka show, and it was super fun. So make sure you guys come over on Twitch for sure then. It'll be dope.
Yep. And so then I'm going to try maybe and do reaction videos to the whole Acolyte series, but we'll see. But it's nice that I can record Tuesday night and then have all Wednesday to edit. Because it's just so much easier that way, so much time. But yeah, so get connected to our community, help us grow, get us bigger. The more we get people to follow us and support us, the more we can do in the future. Hopefully, if a financial thing comes in our way.
Yeah,
because honestly, like it's the big thing that we could do more if we had more money in a sense, but. Because we're doing this almost for free, but we still get a little bit of money through like Twitch and stuff, but not enough to like buy us new cars and homes and fancy vacations.
Pay for our current salaries.
Yeah,
let's start there.
Yeah.
But if you're over on Twitch, and I don't really plug this ever anymore, but if you have a free Prime sub, you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub, so you can give us that sub, and that helps us out, and it literally costs you nothing. So you can go over there, and there's fun awards on Twitch, so go do that if you want to, if you feel inclined. But also the sub on YouTube, because that literally costs you absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's free.
And comment and watch our videos so I can do things I don't want to do. Like watch another 3-hour movie.
Yep. And then finally, we are part of needlesslynerdy.com, which is an entertainment network that we're part of. So go check that out for all kinds of other nerdy content apart from Star Wars. All right, cool. Anything else, Drew?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Well, you have been listening to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.